Report. As these storms track to the east, as we've been talking about, we've got word that the tornado warning has now expired for Kane County. The tornado has now expired for McHenry County. So those places are now in the clear. And a couple damage reports I'm seeing here as well. Looks like areas around Campton Hills, large trees, 20 inches in diameter down, and debris reported in the homes in some of these areas that west of Elgin. So we are starting to see some of these damage reports come in, but now is not the time to be assessing your property. Now is the time, especially if you're in the path of these storms, to be taking cover and making sure you're safe.
We do have reporters on the way, just so folks know, to take a look at what's going on out there. We believe there could be some damage in Countryside, as you mentioned, Tim, Elgin, some damage. This is Willis Tower again. Guys, can you see that? Has it changed in the past few minutes since we've been looking at it?
Well, there's certainly more rain. It's kind of more elongated. I believe this camera view, if it hasn't changed, it looks more like rain. We're not so much, certainly not seeing a wall cloud. There's the rain associated with that, and flooding is something that we just don't have time for right now because we have tornado warnings which are in the area. But that's going to be something that we'll be covering later tonight, I'm sure.
We do have word from the National Weather Service. They're now canceling the tornado warning for Cook County.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's a good thing.
That is some good news.
Some good news, yes.
All right, so Cook County's canceled at this time. Wait, which one? We have two in Cook County.
Yeah, you have one also in southern Cook County,
northern
Cook County.
South.
The one to the northwest is still in effect until 7 p.m. That's the cell that produced the tornado in South Elgin. That cell is still in effect right now over Lake Zurich, Vernon Hills, Buffalo Grove, Northbrook, Highland Park. If you're in those areas, you should certainly take cover, or if you haven't already.
Now, the thing about that one is, the thing about the one that's moving through the Schaumburg area, that was a confirmed tornado in Campton Hills in Kane County.
Exactly. So it has a history of producing tornadoes.
Right. So when you talk about a level 1 to 10, it's a 10, folks. You need to be in your home in a sturdy building, interior location. As Tim said, put as many walls as you can between you and the storm. Get as low as you can possible. There is no preparation that needs to be made. You do not need to close windows or open windows or any of that stuff. You just need to make sure that you are hunkered down from this thing. If you don't have an interior room, a lot of times under a staircase is a perfect place to be, or is the best place to be. Sometimes you just got to grab a mattress and throw it over yourselves. You would be surprised at how folks live through tornadoes by doing things like that, and folks who don't suffer a worse fate. So right up along the Lake County line, so you can use Lake Cook Road if you want, because north of Lake Cook Road, as you get into Lake County, we have that, and it's south of Mundelein. So right through that area that does include Lake Zurich, Hawthorne Woods. We've spoke a lot about our friends there recently with the water problems. Well, they're now under a tornado warning, and the same thing as you look towards portions of Cook County at this time.
If we could go to Max 2 real quick, guys, just to give you a shot of our St. Stanislaus Casca School weatherbug shot looking towards the city. You could see that real quick. Here's a shot. Tim, you want to chime in on this?
Yeah,
you guys, we're going to show you some video that we just got in from one of our stringers. This is Campton Hills. It's right outside of St. Charles in the Geneva area. Take a look at that.
Wow.
And you can hear it.
Wow.
Listen to that.
Yep.
That is a wedge tornado.
Yep.
Wow. In Illinois.
Campton Hills.
Yeah, that's not what you see every day in this part of the world. That's for sure. That is a very large and dangerous tornado, no question.
Listen to how loud it is.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. Oh, and you can see the debris. You can see the debris.
Yeah.
Wow.
That has fully made contact with the ground. You're seeing debris
and
clutter. That debris, by the way, is moving at an incredibly fast velocity. So some of those winds inside those tornadoes can exceed easily more than 100 to 200 miles an hour.
If you look closely, you can see a rainbow in there.
This is, that's because there's water being tossed all over the place. But this is not a normal severe weather event for the Chicago area.
Right.
This is...
I mean, we saw all the parameters coming together here when we were talking about the development of storms here in our early part of our evening news. And we had just marveled at the fact that Demetrius and I both never recall seeing numbers this high off the charts of our levels that we're looking at. The Energy Helicity Index, which is one of the calculations we look for when we're forecasting severe weather. was just off the charts. When you get to a level 2 at the Energy Helicity Index, that's a loud signal for the potential for significant tornado production. In this case, that was up around 4 or 5. So I mean, you're way over what you would normally be to get supercell thunderstorms to develop, which those in turn then produce tornadoes.
Okay.
So now that one that was in that area, has that dissipated or is it still going?
No, Micah, and you read my mind. Schaumburg right now, if you are watching us from Schaumburg, seek shelter at this moment. That is the same cell that we just showed you on video with a confirmed, definitely like more than an EF0 tornado.
Yes, absolutely.
That was on the ground. And now we're looking at Schaumburg, and there is the potential, if you look at this, you're under a tornado warning. There is a potential, especially Schaumburg and Point Southwest, for a powerful tornado moving through that area at this time. Maybe the same as what we saw in Campton Hills. It is the same cell. It has a history of producing tornadoes, and
it's literally right on their doorstep.
I can put this into motion, and it does not take.
You don't have time.
It does not take a degree, folks, to see what we're seeing here. Red on this map indicates headed away from the radar. Green indicates headed toward the radar. And there is a 100% obvious hook. And look at all these
classic.
Look at all these classic kinks there. If you are in the city of Schaumburg, seek shelter now. And this thing is not weakening. In last scan, look at that. This is what we call a couplet here. I'm going to put a tracker on this. Mike,
you said it's not weakening. So is it gaining strength and power as it moves?
This one, at least on the last scan, it did.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a scan on this. I'm going to put a tracker on this thing. Okay, if your town or any town close to it is on the screen, it is absolutely critical that you seek shelter right now.
Mention the towns in case folks are just listening and
Roselle,
can't see it.
Medina, Elk Grove, Des Plaines. That's going to include Niles, of course, and Edison Park, and Hoffman Estates, excuse me. It is critical that you seek shelter now. You're under a tornado warning, and you may potentially be looking at a powerful tornado, probably stronger than EF0. In other words, stronger than most of the run-of-the-mill, most of the stuff that we see here, typically, headed right through your neck of the woods, headed right to your neighborhood. There will be damage, I think, in the Schaumburg area.
Yep.
There will be damage in the Elk Grove area, right up along this line there as you get into DuPage County. It may not be a tornado, but there will be damage.
And the center of this circulation that we've been tracking in the Schaumburg area is almost out of the warning area. So I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service updates that warning box in the polygon to shift to those communities further east that Demetrius just mentioned. So those places along that path, Elk Grove Village, Des Plaines, Park Ridge, Rosemont, Roselle, even Itasca, these are the times you want to just get into place and take shelter now.
I could easily see that being extended to 7:30.
We do have more damage reports. LaGrange, car windows reported blown out, damage to signs near East Avenue.
We also have a report of a tornado touchdown, and this is associated with that northern line, Demetrius, where we were showing in McHenry County. That's moving now into Lake County, Illinois. But just to the northeast of Huntley, reports of a tornado touchdown.
Right here. Here it is, right here. Okay, look, Long Grove, folks, get inside. Now, Kildare, as you look towards Vernon Hills, right into, I'd say, south of Mundelein and headed right to the Lincolnshire area. I'll put a just,
They've been having water problems out there, too.
Yeah, Hawthorne Woods, that area, and Long Grove, those areas, it is definitely time to get inside, seek shelter. We are looking at a well-defined area of rotation right there, north of Kildare, it should be, I believe, east of Inverness, northeast of Inverness there, right up in that area. A lot of folks move out of Cook County. That's the first place that you move to, just to be close enough to the city, but maybe it doesn't cost as much. So it's still very heavily populated in that area, and that is where you're talking about the potential for a tornado moving through that area at this time.
So, guys, we're queuing up another piece of video of what appears to be a tornado in Elgin this evening, too. If we can bring that up and tell us. Boy, it looks similar to the one we just saw a couple of moments ago.
Okay, this does not look like Illinois. We don't see these types of storms. But you know what? The warning was out there, and the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center said they gave us a 10% chance of seeing a tornado. That
Yeah,
is
that's a
basically
high.
that's 10 times
That's 10
normal.
times normal. Absolutely correct, yes.
That's 10 times normal, and I don't know what the chance was of seeing a significant tornado, but it was probably one of the highest around here. In some time.
that I've seen at least since I can remember.
This particular video we're watching right now, you see the rotation of the cloud and the lowering of the cloud. It's kind of obscured by the building there, that box retail store. But when it gets a little closer, it doesn't look. This one has connectivity to the ground, which was what defines it as a tornado.
Yeah, we can't see that.
We
That's
can't
true.
really see that necessarily, but I'm not seeing debris necessarily in the cloud. But it doesn't mean this still couldn't touch down at any moment. So those folks in the video, one, shouldn't be taking the video, honestly, and they should be taking cover immediately with this bearing down on you. like
Because
that.
it's not just a tornado; it's the debris.
It's the debris,
You know,
yes.
and that's what I spoke to, about earlier. You know, a lot of folks want to, get the clicks there,
Yeah.
and you're putting your life in danger. But right now, we're kind of looking east of Schaumburg, right in this area.
Yeah, Demetrius, if I could add to that, we were mentioning just a few minutes ago about how this might get extended, and sure enough, the colleagues at the National Weather Service have extended this tornado warning, which is in effect for northeastern DuPage County and northwestern Cook County until 7:15.
And we've got that on Max 2 if they want to take that
Max
visually.
2 will take the visually, but I'll just mention here that severe thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado were extended along a line from Schaumburg to Glendale Heights, moving to the east at 30 miles per hour.
So the thunderstorms are producing the tornadoes.
Correct.
Correct.
But here's the thing, Micah. These are not powerful thunderstorms.
Yeah. No.
These are not. I mean, this is not. They're supercells. They're turning. They're rotating. But it's just the atmosphere is. It's one of those scenarios that I think a lot of us will only see a couple times, ever, where you have this atmosphere that has the spin by itself and is just waiting for a thunderstorm to develop so it can spin it up into something that creates a tornado. A lot of times it's the other way around. It's the powerful tornado that, a powerful thunderstorm that kind of does it. In this case, it's more the atmosphere that just the wind shear in the atmosphere. It's not the temperature. If we got to the mid 80s or something like that, we'd be in some. We are in serious trouble. This is a big deal, but we'd be looking at more.
We
But
could be looking at EF5 if we had that.
so another damage report there. This is from Countryside. Trees uprooted, roofs blown off near Joliet Road and LaGrange Road there. So
We do have a reporter on the way. Our Dana Rebick is heading that way. Let me ask you this, guys. We went through several weeks of drought-like conditions, right? Then we went through a couple of weeks of heavy rain. Does this signify anything to today's events?
One thing that meteorologists always say is that something begets something.
Right.
Drought begets drought. And we've had a number of scenarios where it looked like it was going to be bad over the last couple of weeks. And we ended up answering emails all night, letting folks know, unfortunately, it just didn't develop. But then it just seemed like something, like we just flipped that switch there. And now we're in a very progressive pattern, rapid fire systems. We've had storms that have been in and out every day, basically, I don't know, for the last week or so.
Yeah,
So
and definitely the ground gets soaked, trees get weak, the root systems, and they're much more vulnerable to these strong winds.
We've really reversed the course of this drought for parts of the area. In fact, Midway Airport, Ray, is for the month, and we're only 12 days into July here, is now moving in on 9 inches of rain for July, which is in the top 4 wettest on record, and we still have more than a half a month to go. So we've really the pattern has turned quite active here in just the last 2 weeks.
For those of you just tuning in, we want to let you know that the tornado warning for northeastern DuPage and Cook County, northwest Cook County, has been extended until 7:15.
Correct.
Until 7:15. Now, we do have some more video that has just come in from Campton Hills, and if you remember, for those of you watching, we just saw that huge tornado. This is more from that cell in that area, in the Campton Hills area.
And you can see debris flying up around this one, guys.
It's the same one we showed earlier today. but
Right,
this
in
is
the
from
Campton
someone
Hills
else,
area,
yes.
this one may have skipped counties and made its way,
Yeah.
and this may have made its way into the Schaumburg area. See what I mean by the lowering of the clouds?
Yeah.
How low they are?
And that's not normal? I mean, for this area?
Well, that's usually the first indication that a tornado is going to drop. When you're talking about the clouds basically are on the ground. Once you get that lowering of
the cloud deck.
the cloud deck, I think it's the lift and condensation level. Then you're talking about that's when you're talking about the potential. That's one indication that a tornado will.
And some good news when we look at this map that's here is that notice that larger polygon of the yellowish hue, it continues to shrink as these storms move to the east. So
Yeah.
areas in McHenry County, you're in the clear. No more tornado warnings in areas in Kane County. It's just restricted to portions of DuPage and that northwest corner of Cook County. Lake County still seeing that tornado
Now, they
warning
just
there.
expired a Lake County one. I
That
don't know. I
just
don't know.
expired.
If,
They
I don't
did.
know if our computer is catching. As a matter of fact, we can just do this right here.
Yeah, it
I don't know
has.
if our computer is catching. Yeah, Lake County. I think you're fine. I mean, well, there's a powerful cell that continues in the Highland Park area. It's going to be east of Route 41. If you need to know where that is, right in the Highland Park area, probably near Highwood, I'd say also. But then as you get here. So this is right through O'Hare. This is right through Elmhurst. This is through portions of DuPage County, north of 88.
Yep.
The Kennedy. That's one thing. Let's discuss that, Tim.
Yeah.
And we do have. I can go to WeatherBug. Tim, can you just
I'll
kind of
call.
let folks know, because we're still kind of in our rush hour, especially now. The Kennedy's not a good place to be at this time. What should folks do when we're talking about a tornado warning?
Well, we still see all these cars on the roads. That's not a good place to be at all. You can't outrun a tornado in a car.
Is
if
this
it's
live
coming
right
in
now,
direction.
Tim?
This
This
is
is
live
live.
from St. Stan's on the
Okay.
northwest side, looking towards the skyline. So the tornadic activity we're seeing in the area is just a little bit to the north of where this camera is currently looking. But all these cars, technically going outbound on the Kennedy, are driving towards this particular strong cell that's producing likely a tornado in some of those areas. So that's not the direction to be headed. In fact, these folks should be pulling over and
Yeah.
slowing down.
Let's go to some more video that we've got from Elgin. Let's take a look at this. This is in that area. One of our folks took pictures of it, as you can see.
Okay, clear rotation. Absolutely clear.
Right on the top of that. You
This,
can
I mean,
see
this,
that.
this isn't even. There is no question. For folks who wonder, is that rotation or not? This is. If you see that,
Yep.
that's rotation. Clear. Absolutely.
Yep.
Those are our cell phones
That's a new
going on.
tornado warning.
Has this been extended to 7:45?
It has.
Correct.
Phil?
Yes.
Okay,
That is
this
correct.
is the northeastern DuPage and Cook County Northwest, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
till
it is.
Okay, it
7:45.
has been extended. We said 7:15 a little while ago.
Now
It has now been
7:45.
extended to 7:45, folks.
Yep, this is the same cell that's extending from a line from Des Plaines to Villa Park in DuPage County, moving to the east at 35 miles
And
per
it
hour.
goes all the
with
way to the lake now.
with a history of producing tornadoes. So
Now tell me this, if it hits the lake, what happens?
well,
Officially becomes a water spout.
yeah.
yeah. The whole old wives' tale that you can't have a tornado in a major city.
It's false.
It's false. It's
Yeah.
it's not. No, it's a lot of times we see storms start to pull from the lake, and the lake does a good job of knocking a lot of them out.
Right. But in this case today, this is
Yeah.
not a situation where because we're close to the lake, we're going to be spared. The necessary meteorological parameters are in place here that's not going to be the case. We don't have an easterly wind that would be blowing in more modified or stable air in here. This is being fed by some very warm, humid air just to the south of us. And typically what happens when you have one of these warm fronts that's draped across the metropolitan area, right along and north of that warm front is a prime area for supercellular thunderstorms to develop, and then those in turn can produce tornadoes, and that's exactly what we've seen today.
So, Micah,
Yes.
earlier we discussed 3.1 million.
Yes.
Chicago's in this new one also. 3.7
million.
million folks are in this tornado warning.
That's
in
the
effect.
northeastern DuPage and Cook County, the northwest
Right in
portion
the
until
area.
7:45.
So north side, right? I'd say
Yeah.
probably some of the far northern suburbs there of Cook County, all the way down to and it does include the Loop. And I would probably say as close as the South Loop as this cell moves through. I'm going to zoom in, and it's our only one that we're talking about, so we can certainly take a closer look there.
Yeah,
Okay,
we also
tree
have some
stand-
pictures, guys, just so you know. Our photojournalist Jason Vicks and reporter Dana Rebeck are in the McCook area near LaGrange. And as you can see, there's Jason taking pictures of some of the damage that's already gone through McCook.
Well, we have some reports of trees damaged in Carroll Stream, that's in DuPage County, and debris lofted. So that's going to, that will give you the, wow, look at that.
Yeah,
I'm
folks,
sorry,
they're
I'm just
down
looking at
power
the
lines
picture there.
too. They're down power lines, so please be careful out there if you're listening. There are down power lines in most of these areas where these tornadoes are coming through. So do not go out, as Demetrius said a little bit earlier, and explore, because your electrical company is going to have to get to that immediately.
And, just to kind of give you an idea of how, unusual this situation is, when you look at this radar, we could be looking at a hook right where it says I-90. Right now, I'm willing to say that anything could be a tornado that we're seeing tonight. This is, I'm not going to say unprecedented, but we're going to, I think, find that we have had a number of probably long-range tornadoes, more powerful tornadoes that have moved through. We've had numerous, I don't know, I can't count them, but probably a dozen or so, maybe more reports of damage.
Definitely an outbreak.
Yeah.
Want to pass this along right now, guys. Amtrak has decided to suspend operation while this system moves through. Again, you said this warning in effect through 7:45, so that is happening right now. We'll keep watching that one.
If anybody's waiting for folks to come home, they will not be coming home on Amtrak, that's for sure.
No. Hey, Lake County, you're okay. DuPage County, you are still in it, down towards Downers Grove. Right now, there's no tornado warning, but we don't have any confidence that these cells won't produce more tornadoes. We may have seen, I don't know, what's the count? Probably 5 or 6?
5 or 6.
At the very
Yeah.
least, and I mean, this again, as we mentioned before, it's going to take time for National Weather Service survey teams to go out tomorrow and explore the areas. They go back and they look at the Doppler radar calibration, and then they're able to, then do a survey based on the track of these storms and determine whether these were tornadic cells or straight line wind damage. But
There
it's
was a-
kind of an academic point. You're
There was
you
a
see
roof,
right there.
a roof blown off in Huntley earlier today. And so I'm just going to kind
Not
of
sure where we're looking here, but this.
The trees are down and
yeah, this
everything. Let
looks
me
like-
also
looks like a
mention that the
tornado here.
Burlington, Northern, and Santa Fe Burlington Northern and Santa Fe trains are having problems on the metro right now as well.
Where is this picture? This live shot?
Where is this, Danielle?
Okay,
we're trying to find out right now.
Okay, well, so this is what the National Weather Service is going to do. They're going to go out tomorrow and they're going to look at certain damage indicators, right? They want to see if trees were bent, if they were snapped, if everything was pushed into one direction. They're going to look for things like that and then determine if there was a tornado. As far as what I'm seeing right now, areas that I think are of great concern, right through the Elmhurst area. We've just been following this one, and the good news is we've been able to kind of give a little bit of indication before these warnings come. Right towards the Niles area, you see where the red is just a little bit redder. Sometimes when you go directly above the radar, you can kind of get a weird little shift there, and it makes it hard to see.
And we've got a closer view of that on the regular reflectivity with just the regular radar.
Okay,
on Max
let's do
2.
this. Okay, now folks, I want you to put this in your mind here. Now let's go to Max 2, if we can. You see the well-defined kind of hook, kind of maybe spinning, rotating cell there.
And it's now moving to the east, so the radar is just updated. So now areas towards Edison Park, that is a major area of concern. And this is, again, tracking pretty fast. So folks, Rogers Park. And
So it's moving towards the lake right now.
It's moving towards the lake at a pretty good clip, about to the east, slight northeast component to that, about, say, 25 to 35 miles an hour. So
All
it's
right.
in and it's out.
That
so-
video we saw earlier, the roof that was torn off, that was in Countryside. That was a live picture, actually.
Oh, that was a
in
live
Countryside.
picture. Okay,
Yeah.
and again, on something like that, the National Weather Service is going to look. Well, okay, this is just because I've been on a couple site surveys. Okay, you look at the tree. If that is the tree that was blown off,
Wow.
If that tree that was snapped, that tree is so the house shows indication that came from the left or the right hand portion of your screen, right? It ripped the roof off. The tree may have snapped, but the tree is on the other side of the house. That would indicate that there may have been swirling winds. All the damage is not all pushed in one direction, a straight line wind direction. In this case, what you're seeing is a roof that's been sheared off from the right-hand portion of your screen, a tree that's been snapped, and if it's the tree that was on the right-hand side, then you know that you had winds swirling all over the place. If it's the one that's on the left-hand side, and I can't tell if that tree snapped or, I can't really tell what that is, but then you got to look a little bit further. But what the National Weather Service would look for, certain indications like that, and then obviously how strong, wow, look at this thing.
Wow.
That is a...
Yeah, that's been confirmed.
Okay, so there's 2 trees down, one completely snapped. This is not this one was uprooted on the left.
Uprooted, yeah, on the left.
Yeah, so can we, I don't know if our photographer can hear, and there might be other people around there, but can we zoom out a little bit more? I just want to give you an indication, and we're going to go back to the radar because we still have this tornado warning that's in effect. We have an uprooted tree that's leaning in one direction toward the house. We have a house that has a roof that's been sheared off it from the right side, the opposite direction. And there's another tree that's off camera to the right that looks like it's the snap tree from the middle that was pushed away from the house. That would, me not being the guy who does that survey would say that looks like a tornado to me
Yeah.
and not straight line winds.
Right.
So that's the type of thing the National Weather Service is going to look at. And that's also why you should not be in any upper level place in your home, an attic, anything like that. I do
We got
want to.
another confirmation, Demetrius,
go ahead.
of a tornado touchdown in Carroll Stream. So that's on that northeastern DuPage County area. Tornado touchdown in Carroll Stream. Also, I got a confirmation from a Facebook friend who works at O'Hare. There is currently a shelter in place right now at O'Hare Airport. So
Yeah,
that's,
they've also suspended the transit system there at O'Hare right now. They've got 379 canceled flights there midway right now at 35 cancellations as they wait for this to pass over them.
yeah. The good news, Ray, is that, of course, there's not a lot of good news for many people tonight because there's some serious damage path across the most of the metropolitan area. But this is not going to be a storm system that's going to linger with us all night long. If we can get through the next hour or so, the storm threat will diminish. And as Tim mentioned, you can see how that the watch box is starting to shrink to our west. So as these storms move east of us over the lake, the National Weather Service will then in turn take down the tornado watches. The storm ingredients will then move out of our area. So
Yeah,
that's
and
good
officially,
news.
we've got another 35 minutes on the tornado warning that is for Cook County.
Yep.
But you're seeing that line of storms. It is moving at a pretty fast clip, so it could be out of here earlier than that.
Yep.
But we're going to stay on the air as long as we're tracking these storms as they move to the east and with a slight northeasterly component, about 25 to 35 miles an hour.
We know you were mentioning that was running through areas like Rogers Park over there in Evanston. We know that Rogers Park is right now just getting rain. Not a lot of wind in that area, but a lot of rain.
And we're starting to get some lightning strikes on the satellite and radar picture there. 4 areas on the north side. So folks in the West Ridge neighborhood, Edgewater neighborhood, those are areas of concern. Edgebrook vicinity, just to the south of Skokie, talking about areas around Lincolnshire. Those are some vicinities where you want to be taking shelter right now.
Okay, let's go to Max 1. So you asked Micah how many tornadoes we've had.
Yeah.
This is not going to be. This is
The final answer.
Yeah, this
for
is
sure.
not the final answer at all. We probably won't get that.
We won't
for
know that
days.
till tomorrow.
So
least.
there's Huntley. That is a report of trees down and damage reported to homes
From a tornado.
near Algonquin and Reed Roads. I'm going to go to now I'm going to go into Cook County here. This is Joliet Road. This is the countryside where we have the video of the damage there. That was 6:16. That report came in. There's the Grange. Could be the same one. Could maybe not. There's also Carroll Stream in DuPage County, 640.
Yep.
So this is all. These are not the same cell, right? I mean, look at how they're spread out. These storms are going from basically east to west, or west to east, excuse me. Here's South Elgin at 623. So you're talking about all almost in the same half hour to 45 minutes, potentially maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 tornadoes moving through the area.
So those little basketball thingies are tornadoes.
yes,
They are.
yes.
Those are Micah confirmed tornadoes
So
at
that's
this point.
6.
And they're more like yin and yangs, if you ask me.
And do you guys have a sense of the wind speeds there at each of these cells?
Well, we
yet?
do have a wind speed. No, we don't. Just a 6-inch.
Ray, that's
Tree down.
again, that's going to be determined when the National Weather Service sends a survey team out, because once they confirm what intensity on the enhanced Fujita scale that these tornadoes produced, then we in turn can depict what kind of wind speed.
Does the speed of the tornadoes tell you anything?
Not necessarily.
No.
That just tells you the
The-
speed of the
just the
prevailing
motion
winds
of-
and the
right.
motion of the storm.
Yeah. So
Right.
the speed of. Now it does. Okay, this area. I mean, but while we're kind of digressing, I do want to. Melrose Park.
Yep.
Broadview. We don't want to lose this in the headline. 3.71 million folks are under a tornado warning right now, and that does include Chicago. The potential, and right now we're just trying to give the heads up way before it gets to you. Right up in this area, east of Elmhurst.
Right.
That's right up along Eisenhower, right, Bill?
That's
So
correct.
that's
Yes,
one-
moving east on the Eisenhower through Bellwood, Berkeley, Oak Park. And
Oh
then-
wow!
yeah.
O'Hare Airport reports damage. So
Yep.
okay, so at O'Hare Airport reports
A tornado. Warehouses reported damage on the west side of O'Hare Airport. So this
Wow.
this could be this is really historic. I mean, I don't think that in the history of this city we've had two separate tornadoes touch down at both respective airports, but it's quite possible. In fact, it's more than possible. It's quite likely that.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got sirens going off in the West Ridge, Rogers Park neighborhood right now.
Yes, those areas should take cover, Micah, until 7:45, until this storm moves out over the lake.
So that's the area that I have circled here.
Yep.
The least that you're going to find is wind damage. Okay, and when I say wind damage, I'm not talking, signs here. We're talking power lines. We're talking, and we've seen video of that. We're talking roofs. We're talking things like that. So for folks even along the lake shore, where the lake protects you from a lot of stuff, but these storms mean business, and they're coming in from the west. And just the pickup in wind shear and the potential couplet there does indicate the potential right up along the Eisenhower and north of Chicago for a tornado to move through. But today it looks like it may be the case. We've seen a tornado
touchdown at
at
both
Midway
airports
and at O'Hare.
Two separate storm cells.
Yeah, and who knows about the smaller airports, DuPage and
Right.
and,
So I can't ever remember anything like that before. It's just really extraordinary.
So a tornado warning remains in effect there for, I'll show you the area shaded in red here. That includes Cook County, that includes the Loop. Well, it looks like they've kind of broke this off into two. No, that's a new one.
Okay, I'm confused. Now, I thought we dropped the one in Cook County with the Loop area.
No, we dropped one, and we dropped the one that kind of included that came in from Berwyn,
Okay.
in that area. But didn't include the Loop there. Then there's another one, and this is the same cell that came through Campton Hills, which we've shown you video of a tornado that moved through.
Right.
We showed you, a tornado that storm produced.
And we can show you that cell, particularly on Max 2 now. Looks like there is sort of that
Right
hook
over.
echo on the radar. So just to the east of Niles, we're talking areas on the north side of the city, straddling the Edens Expressway there. Areas towards the north side of the city. So we're talking neighborhoods, Rogers Park, Edgewater, West Ridge. Those areas going to be in the line of fire. So you want to make sure that you take cover immediately.
Yeah, this thing is going right up along the lakeshore. I think it goes as far north as Northfield, Northbrook, Northfield, that area.
That includes our WGN studios right now. We're in that tornado warning, so we're in the path of this storm.
we are in, that's,
We can't take cover.
no.
We have to tell folks what's going on.
The studio
Let's
is
do
a
a
tornado
real
shelter,
regroup
so.
right now, guys.
Yeah.
Give us an idea of what we're talking about as far as warnings and what we're looking at for the next 30 minutes.
Okay, we have a tornado warning, and for everyone in production, our tower cams, especially the ones that look north, are probably going to show a lot. So if we can get somebody on those to look at those, that's a good thing for us to look at. But we have a tornado warning that remains in effect for 3.3 million people. That does include Chicago. Okay, this is looking north. This is looking north, I believe, from the Hancock. So now you can see Edgewater, correct?
Yes.
I think typically you can see
the Lincoln Park Lagoon there, and then as you look past that, you see the one hook is North Avenue Beach in the foreground, and then the second one out there is towards Montrose.
Okay, so visibility, that area under a tornado warning until 7:45. This is the same cell that moved through Kane County a few hours ago, not even an hour ago,
Right.
and dropped a tornado in Campton Hills that we have confirmed. We have video, we have sound of what looks like a powerful wedge tornado that moved through the Campton Hills area. This is the same storm that is now headed towards Evanston, moving through the Niles area. That would be Glenview, that would be Des Plaines. Not necessarily the same tornado, folks. Tornadoes come in and out of a storm, in and out of cells like this. But this is the same cell, same storm that created this is now moving through some of those North Shore communities.
So remind everybody who is in the path here what they need to be doing right now. What should they be doing to protect themselves, guys?
Yeah, Ray, if you're in a building with a basement, that's the place you want to be, the lowest level of your house. Of course, you want to put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. If that's an interior closet, interior bathroom, that's the place to be. If you're in a higher level structure, we have a lot of high rises in these neighborhoods. You want to get to, again, an interior place in your building or your apartment or condo, and to the lowest level you're able to access easily and quickly. easily, and make sure you put, again, as many walls between you and the storm as possible. Oftentimes, especially if it's a newer building, it's going to be a cement staircase, and again, the lowest part of that staircase, do not get in an elevator. That is not the place you want to be in a storm like this. You want to make sure, again, towards a very secure area, which is going to be the lowest level of the building you can access speed with any sort of quickness. And again, definitely looking at quite a bit of that heavy rain as well. So sometimes you can't even see these things coming. They can be rain-wrapped tornadoes, which can be particularly dangerous. There's the cell we're looking at that's over the north side right now. West Ridge neighborhoods, Ravenswood, Wrigleyville, areas around Evanston, Rogers Park, Edgewater, those are the places in harm's way. If you can hear this and you're in those areas, take shelter now.
Okay, so we've zoomed in this radar. Morgan Kochmeyer kind of is at home watching and let me know that there's a setting on our radar that really just cuts out the clutter here. So here's what we're seeing. Now look here, Evanston and just south of Evanston, that's a hook. Whether or not it's a hook echo, whether or not it's a tornado, I don't know. But in that area, headed up right up along the immediate lake shore. So, you're talking the city of Chicago. I mean, once you cross, Micah, you would know, once you cross Howard Street, right?
Yeah, you're in Evanston.
Yeah. Well, south. If you're going south,
then you're in the city.
Well, if you're going north of Howard, you're right in Evanston area.
Okay.
And just south of that is going to be your West Ridge, your Rogers Park, your areas as you go further east, you're going to get into your Lakeview, your Edgewater, and things like that.
All areas in the red right now.
Thank you. With the last scan, the tornado warning for that area. With the last scan, and I'm going to say Rogers Park, you're probably okay. Evanston, you're okay. But now as we go down here, Wrigleyville into
That's further east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All down in this direction.
That area just to the east of Austin there, it looks concerning as well.
Yeah, and there's
And of
no
course,
warn-
this is the downtown area right off of Lakeshore Drive. Very dark, but I don't see any movement. Do you guys?
So that's the problem with some of these rain-wrapped tornadoes is they're really hard to spot with just the naked eye, which is why when we get these warnings that are radar indicated, it's best to just take shelter
And
immediately.
they're just
So
off to the
sometimes you
west
can't
right
see
now
them.
anyway, right?
Well, that actually looking north,
Storms will be moving from left to right. In that
we're
particular
gonna
shot.
notice that in about I
to
don't know,
west.
in the next 5 to 10 minutes, this camera you won't see anything because there is if you are watching us from Chicago, it is time to seek shelter. You see what I mean? I think this is this
That looks
camera.
like the Willis Tower to the west.
Oh, this is Willis, looking to the west. So this is coming directly toward this camera.
And it looks a lot darker than it did before. Guys, let's do a quick refresh. Tell us all the warnings out there right now
Okay,
and when they expire.
One warning. The area
Just
shaded
one.
in red there, which includes, I'm going to go as far north as maybe Wilmette, but you're probably okay in Wilmette. I would say Rogers Park south through the loop. There is a tornado warning which is in effect for you until 7:45. This storm has a history of developing tornadoes. It is now kind of stretched out toward the lake. It is kind of building back right up along the Eisenhower. And unfortunately for the city of Chicago, this is training. So for folks, that means it's building back west. So for folks who are kind of wondering, when is this thing over? If you're in the loop, you're in this thing. If you look here, it's stretched out from west to east there, all across portions of, I'd say the Eisenhower is probably, would probably be your line there, all the way back to the tri-state. So in this case, the loop, you should certainly be hunkered down. As we said, high-rise building, best place to be. Probably a stairwell, maybe a basement. They're usually marked off very well. If you're in a home, get into the lowest level of your home. Interior room, as many walls as you can between you and this storm. This is a real threat. We have seen confirmed tornadoes. We have numerous confirmed reports of damage. And dare I say, almost everything that's popped has popped a tornado today.
That's what it seems like so far, yeah.
Let me let you know that we've got some calls that have come in, that West Ridge, Rogers Park area. Now the sun is out, so obviously
That's
it
great.
has passed through.
I got one from Glenview also that the sun is out. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's good.
Let's hope so.
I'll tell you what, as a meteorologist, we hate that. We'll take cloudy and 65 almost every day.
Yeah, we've got sun from our cameras on the ground as well, so hopefully it's moving through. Maybe it'll go across the lake, and there you go. Look at that sun.
Okay, wow. Okay, so where is this?
This is in Countryside, this countryside
You
area.
can see those towering cumulus in the distance.
Oh,
That's the
I
storms that are over
lied.
the
It's
city.
near Elgin.
Okay,
Near
yeah, that
Elgin.
makes sense.
But
They're
yeah,
looking,
like
they're
Tim said,
looking due east.
like Tim said, look at what you see. Look at those clouds. Those are the clouds. Those are the storms that are moving through Chicago right now, right? I mean, because
Yes.
we're looking east there,
Looking
and
down.
now
And
we look
we're
into
in
the
it
city.
as we look from the Willis Tower to the south towards, I believe, most of the downtown core.
Wow. And you guys talked about how storms like these are usually preceded by really high temperatures, a high dew point. That was not present in this storm.
That was
but-
not
No,
the case today.
no,
We
it
can-
was not.
We can go back here, and Bill, I know that Bill's been in the seat longer than Tim and I together.
Yeah.
But again, Ray, we were talking about this before. This is the type of setup that really sends off alarm bells. Usually we see back in the early spring or even, April and May when our tornado season gets going, because you typically have this warm front draped across, the I-80 corridor, and then you have warm, humid air to the south, and you have cooler air to the north. So where the two collide, you get these tornado cells to develop just to the north of that warm front. You've got winds changing direction with height. Southwest winds south of the warm front, and then easterly winds north of the warm front. So where the winds pile up there along that frontal boundary is where you're able to get these storms to spin. And we saw all the parameters in place this afternoon, and heads up by the Storm Prediction Center, they were rightfully so had upgraded our storm risk. We were this morning we looked at it, we were at about a 5% risk, but when they came out with their early afternoon update, they had upgraded the Chicago area to a 10% hatch tornado risk, which is a very high assessment. That's about 10 times the normal assessment that you would typically see in this area. So again, the warnings were out there, the tornado watch was issued, and I'm hopeful that people have heeded our warnings and they've been listening to our coverage here for the last few hours or followed along on their WGN weather app and took cover.
Yeah, because usually you're seeing stuff like this in the spring. You're not seeing stuff like this in the mid-July.
Typically this time of the year, you get more of a damaging thunderstorm wind threat. And again, like we were talking about, you get warm, humid air, and you get a cold front that's moving in from the west, and you'll get these storms to develop along the cold front, and then you get some strong winds and maybe some hail, and that's it. But this was a rare situation where that wasn't the case. It was kind of more of a the setup resembled something you would see back in the spring. So you're exactly right, Micah.
Yeah, Micah, it's so rare. Yeah, get Tom on the phone. He's on vacation, and
It happens every single time, Demetrius.
every time the man
Every
leaves.
single time.
Yeah, it's
every
just-
I
time the man-
mentioned that earlier
uncanny.
this week, remember?
Yeah, and
my
then he
God.
always comes back and says, "Oh, I'm so
Yeah, what-
Sorry, I
ticked I
missed
missed
it.
it." We're
Yeah, I'm
ticked
sure
you missed
you
it
are.
too, Tom.
We showed you that the live image there in Countryside where the sun is now shining, but the Pleasant View Fire Department says they've got a box alarm set for tornado investigations. Multiple buildings affected by a tornado. They've got staging set up now at Joliet Road and Willow Court in Countryside as they go about assessing the damage, finding out who may need assistance right now.
This is a real situation, and here's the thing. A lot of times when we see tornadoes, and I tell kids when I talk to them, I say tornadoes like the word shark. When you go swimming, and if someone says they saw a shark, you think it's bad. But some sharks are little ones that not a big. But tornadoes are the same. A lot of times we get these QLCS tornadoes, which are little spin ups, knock a couple trees down. But it's a tornado, right? It's still a tornado. These that we have seen today, and the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center, you have to give them all the credit because they put in the updates, and there was a lot of debate in the meteorological community as to whether or not this was going to be this dire a situation. They put in the updates early today that there was the potential for significant tornadoes,
Yeah.
EF2 and EF and
Yeah,
higher.
and that's a rare assessment for this area. I mean, we get in tornado risk at times, and we have our peak tornado season, April, May, and even into June. But when you assess the area that there's the potential for significant, that sends alarm bells off in your head when you hear that, when you hear those
Yeah.
words.
So it doesn't look like any area that we say there was a tornado spotted, we could be looking at some serious destruction there because these are not your kind of rope, kind of weak tornadoes that we see. That one that we saw in Campton Hills, that looked like the
That
real
was
deal.
looked like a wedge tornado,
Yeah.
something you'd see down in Oklahoma and Texas. That was a really powerful tornado, no question about it.
Yeah, and look at this.
This
Wow.
is more rain coming in this area, as you can see. We're going to go in a little bit to our reporter, Dana Rebick, who's in Countryside. Apparently, it is raining. It is pouring. We saw earlier today in Countryside where that tornado had gone through. Obviously, the storms are now following it. The rainstorms are following.
So yeah,
That's
the storms go
correct.
back right up along 55 now. So south of the Eisenhower, for folks wondering where they are, when
Okay,
this
this
is
is
gonna
in
be over.
Elgin, guys. Look at that damage.
Wow.
And the sun's out and the damage is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see. A lot of times when we see storm damage, we in the Weather Center are like, those are pine trees, no big deal. That is a tree that has been stripped of its leaves.
Stripped,
Yeah.
totally.
Yep.
Looks like wintertime.
Right.
No
you
leaves,
see
nothing.
limbs across the garage there. Wow, this is widespread.
This
It really is. It really is, Ray. Yeah.
We're going to find that this is one of for
Probably
the city
one
of
of
Chicago.
our. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Dana Rebick. She's live in Countryside where there's a lot of rain going on now, right, Dana?
Yes, hi, Micah. Sorry, we've been trying to get situated here. We're in Countryside, and the weather is just really bizarre right now. It's sunny, as you can see over here, pouring rain, and then behind us right now there's a huge rainbow, but there is a lot of damage in here's the rainbow. My photographer Nelson Howard getting a shot of that. So it was kind of a treacherous drive here. I started out in Cicero a bit earlier tonight, and we could hear the tornado sirens going off. We were just only a few miles away from where this storm came through. We first stopped in the McCook-Lyons area, and we saw several downed power lines, a brick motel that was badly damaged. And as we made our way here, we could definitely see signs of what looked like to us definitely a tornado that came through this area. Behind me, this home here, you can see there's a tree that's been uprooted in their front yard. The angle of the sun is a bit difficult here, but you can see the top portion of the roof of that home is now gone, and part of it collapsed down into their garage. Right now, you can see there's a vehicle here from the Westmont Fire Department. We've seen trees in this entire neighborhood just snapped in half like toothpicks. The damage here is pretty extensive, and there are more storm clouds surrounding us right now. We just had a heavy downpour, and that rain has now stopped. So I have this huge umbrella. I'm going to put this down for a moment. But yeah, that's basically what we've seen so far. We want to start talking to some folks to see what this was like when it came through. But obviously very scary. We've seen portions also of the interstate here that are that's closed right now. It appeared there were some large light posts that fell down onto the on-ramp of, I believe, was it 355 or no, I-55 near here that some on-ramps were closed. So that's the latest right now. We'll probably get back to you in a bit, talk to some folks, and that's the situation
Dana,
in
before you
Countryside right now.
we were looking
Yes.
at that house behind you where everything fell down on the roof.
Yeah.
And the guys were trying to figure out in the weather office, are other houses around there damaged, or did it just hit that house, or what does it look
Yeah.
like a little bit further?
So we saw a house actually kind of across the street from us here that had a large brick fireplace that ran along the outside of the exterior of the house, and the whole chimney collapsed down on top of the home. We saw other houses that looked like there were large portions of shingles, but this is probably the worst that we've seen here as far as roof damage, where it looked like, a big entire section got sucked off of it.
And then the house right next to it has solar panels
Yeah.
that are untouched,
Yeah,
undamaged
those
by the
are
winds.
perfectly fine.
Wow.
That's
just
the
shows
most,
the
the
patterns that the
strangest thing about
tornadoes
these
go in.
tornadoes.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Dana. Let's check
Yeah.
back in with those
Yep.
guys in the weather office. We were trying to figure out what pattern these tornadoes were going, but as you can see, what Dana was saying in that area, some touch, some not touch.
Yeah, and that's one of the just kind of sadistic things about tornadoes. I mean, they literally they can hit the house next door to you and absolutely obliterate it, and then the house, and then jump houses and things like that. Which is why when there's a warning or there's even a watch, you got to pay attention. I mean, no one's crying wolf. No one's trying to get attention. I think all of the authorities are just trying to keep people safe. And you don't know which house is going to hit. Now, the tornado warning looks like it's been dropped for Cook County at this time. So that's good news. There still there still is a thunderstorm that remains in effect there. Chicago all points south, I-55 all points southeast. I can kind of zoom out to see if anyone else is seeing anything. But one thing that I've noticed too, the calm after a tornado is it's staggering. The winds, they'll still pick up sometimes, but it's like no one can say anything. It's just one of those things where so much when a community is hit by something like a tornado. It's just everyone there feels just almost helpless and small.
Yeah, I think this will certainly go down as our worst tornado outbreak to impact this area since the one that hit Naperville and Woodridge back a couple years ago in June, the end of June. If you recall, that was an EF3.
And this was during rush hour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So there's that.
We've got some video we want to show you guys from Jewel Hillary, who was on her way to O'Hare. We heard that there was a tornado that hit, I think we said, the western side of airport grounds. And as they were heading to the scene there, this is the look of the sky here.
That Bill wasn't speaking to you. Now, I don't know, the super's kind of in the way. We can't. So for a tornado, it's important that it touches the ground. Wow. Definitely a wall cloud, I'd say. I mean,
Allison?
Yeah, yeah. So it's I think it is going to be. I think we're going to find that this was a significant tornado outbreak for the city of Chicago. Fortunately, the one thing that we haven't heard is injuries, human injuries.
That's the case
all the way
through the rest of the evening.
And if that ends up being the case, then kudos to everyone at the National Weather Service. Kudos to other folks in the media or all authorities out there. I've heard from folks that say they've never heard the sirens go off in the city of Chicago, but they did go off. I didn't even know they had them in the city of Chicago.
They do.
The fact that it happened, I mean, rush hour, that's a terrible time, but at least there's still daylight to see what's coming your way.
For sure.
Right. There is, but if you're on the road, there's not.
You're straight ahead. You're not looking around you.
I mean, you don't. Well, the thing is, most of these are rain wrapped, and you think, oh well, the rain's picking up. Chasing in this area is definitely something you need life insurance for, because you can drive right into a tornado. And it's not like Oklahoma or Kansas or something where you can hit it from all different directions with flat land. Here, you're driving around a bend, driving around a building, and all of a sudden you could be right in it. So
now, what are you looking at right here? Is that's rain, right?
That is just rain at this point, just
Okay.
the rain shaft, yeah.
So heavy rain, a band of thunderstorms, Micah. Now those cells are moving to the southeast, so that will impact portions of southern Cook County and swipe our northwest Indiana County. So we'll certainly keep an eye on the
Now,
situation.
we've seen sun in some areas, but is the rain going to stick around? Are we done
The
with
rain
the warnings?
is on the way out as well as
Okay.
as these storms, so that is some good news. This
Cook
warning
County. I do want to correct you.
that's true, because we're still monitoring as he's tracked to the east, and there is still that potential for portions in northwest Indiana. So we're going to stay vigilant here in the Weather Center as we get through the rest of the evening. But notice how much that box there has contracted over the last several hours. That is the tornado watch box that officially goes until 10 p.m. But I don't think it's going to
I
last that long.
suspect that they'll, by 8 o'clock, to the northern edge of that line, Micah, that we just saw, will probably cancel the tornado watch, because areas north of that line of showers and thunderstorms that we just showed, those areas are pretty much clear for the rest of the night.
Right.
Don't expect any additional rains.
But
That's
if
the
you're
best thing we want to hear. Clear, all clear.
But if you're watching, we're not all clear. If you're watching us from Northwest Indiana,
Yep.
This could just be starting for you.
Yeah, we could see it going right across the lake there. Let me stop you guys for just a second. Let's go to WGN's Courtney Spinelli. She's getting to the Elgin area. She's joining us with a look at the damage there. As you know, there has been a lot of reports of damage in that area. Courtney.
Yeah, good evening to you all. We just arrived minutes ago, and the damage is so evident really everywhere you look. This house right here is covered in trees. The roof partially collapsed here. And I really have to say, one of the most amazing things is as you pull into this neighborhood, you can see people jumping into action right away. And they said minutes after really this storm all came through, neighbors were coming out to help. You can see there are people out here with chainsaws. We just spoke to several girls who just walked from the other side of the neighborhood, and they say they came down to say, what can we do to help? They told them they need some trash bags, anything to help kind of get this debris out. I'm going to circle around this way now because the damage doesn't stop here, and it's really everywhere you look. You can see trees down on the roofs of these homes. It's just really one after the next. Damage to shingles, a lot of trees down in the yards, and a lot of residents out here kind of just assessing the damage. Now, we were just a few miles away on Bose Road near Corin just a few minutes ago, and it is completely blocked off. You have police and emergency management officials there stopping traffic. It's not clear exactly what that is for, but obviously the damage is very evident in this area, really just across the region that we've driven through so far. Over by that intersection where they did have blocked off, we could also see some metal debris in one of the fields. It looks like it blew off of either a nearby farm or one of the homes in that area. A lot of emergency crews over in that area as well, kind of assessing the damage. Again, we just got out here. No reports of injuries as of right now that we have been told. We're told that neighbors in this home where that tree did the significant amount of damage were okay. They were not home at the time this happened. So it sounds like a very fortunate situation as far as nobody being injured, but a lot of damage here that people are just trying to figure out what next at this point.
Courtney, is this a heavily populated area that you're in, or is this just like a block? Are there several blocks like that, and how does the damage look on the other blocks?
Yeah, as we've come in this way, this is really a residential area. I mean, the homes not too close to each other, but they're in close enough distance that, you know, neighbors are right next to each other. There's not big stretches in between, and you can really just see the neighbors out everywhere right now, standing at the end of their driveways, walking over to their other neighbors to say, hey, what can I do? Near that intersection that was blocked off, one side is a bit more rural with farmland, and then on the other side you have neighborhoods as well. So, I mean, significant damage, but there were a lot of homes that were also untouched. So we're trying to get a little bit of a better idea about what this was like out here. Some residents say it happened so fast. They were sheltered in their basement and then came out just to see the significant damage that their neighbors had endured, or that people across the street had been kind of also surveying as they opened their doors.
So they listened to what folks said, get into the basement and, take cover. Thank you very much, Courtney. Let's go back to the guys in the weather office. How are things looking? Anything
All right,
changed?
let's talk about what comes next. How about that?
Okay,
All right.
sounds
So first off, we have showers and thunderstorms, which are continuing and extending from, I'm going to say I-55 south, headed out to 294, back towards the Worth area. Not severe, but we don't trust anything tonight because most of the storms that we've seen have popped something severe or maybe a thunderstorm. Here's what our computer model has as we progress through the evening, because this is what we mean by it's not necessarily done. The model initialized, it's a little overdone. Initialization means that means that
somewhat done.
What we mean is where, if you compare it to where the radar was, how does it look to start? It's a little optimistic about storms, but notice that it continues to bring some thunderstorm activity into portions of Lake County, Porter and LaPorte counties, Northwest Indiana. This is through the 8:30 hour. And there is a potential, those areas are still under a tornado watch, and it looks like we'll remain under a tornado watch. By 9 p.m., things start to clear out more. And then by 10 p.m., we can all just kind of bring that sigh of relief, lick our wounds, and see what's broken around the area, because that's when things should clear out. But right now, that tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. Cook County is still in it at this time. No warnings. Basically, we're just keeping a watchful eye for the development of tornadoes. However, any cell that does develop could potentially, we think, create a tornado. And also, in areas that have been hit by damage, you got to be on the lookout for down power lines, standing water, and just sharp stuff that's sitting around.
There can be a lot of debris on the ground and through some of these things, especially in areas where the roofs have been ripped off houses, all sorts of roofing material, nails, shingles, glass shards, all sorts of dangerous things. When I look at this watch box for the tornado watch that goes until 10 p.m. officially, I anticipate in the next half hour it will contract, especially areas in the northern portions of that tornado watch box. Maybe it will contract to the Stevenson Highway itself. That's up to the National Weather Service. But as these storms move to the east, the threat bullseye remains in that corner in northwest Indiana that we're going to keep a close eye on.
And we talked about what was going on at O'Hare as this storm system was moving through. Confirmed tornado on the ground near O'Hare. Take a look at how passengers were sheltering in place at O'Hare. Let's take a listen here.
Feeding people in.
Wow.
Yeah, scary place to be at that given moment there, where they canceled hundreds of flights at O'Hare, over 350 flights, while they were waiting to see that system
But
pass over.
how many of us have flown O'Hare and you get home and you see that that walkway, and it's just a wonderful
Yeah.
place to be. Yeah, and who would have ever thought that place would be a place where, I mean, it's obviously a wonderful place to go to seek shelter, but who would have thought that kind of welcome to Chicago corridor would turn into a place where folks are hunkered down from we may have seen 2 tornadoes in the city of Chicago today.
And we do have Jewel Hillary on our way to O'Hare to just get a little bit, to assess that area a little bit more. We heard that there was some damage
And
at that
this
airport.
I think, can put an end to any myth for folks out there that say a tornado, Chicago can't get hit by a tornado because we're protected by the lake. That's just simply false.
No.
It can absolutely happen. We've seen it happen across other major metropolitan areas. So no, you're not protected by the big buildings and you're not protected by the lake. If the right meteorological parameters are in place, you can absolutely have a tornado in the city of Chicago.
The
Guys,
weather does what it wants, when it wants.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Guys, if we could real quick take Max 3 for just a second. I just wanted to mention real quick here, if we could go to that for just a second, that one little cell that we're seeing right there to the south of Chicago. You could see right now, see that spin, early spin?
Oh, wow.
So that is indicating, that's our Doppler calibrated radar signature, and it's indicating that there is a little bit of rotation in that cell right there. So this storm system is moving to the southeast. So if you're watching us in northwestern Indiana, this is making a beeline for that area. If this storm were to hold together and intensify it all, you're not out of the woods yet if you're watching us from say Lake County or even LaPorte County in northwest Indiana.
There are numerous marine warnings out there, and
Over the lake, yeah, I don't
Anyone
think
if
anybody-
you like your boat, it's nowhere near the water.
Yeah.
Right.
hopefully-
That special marine warning for Burns Harbor to Michigan City, Indiana, Calumet Harbor to Gary, Indiana, Gary to Burns Harbor, Indiana. So this is going to continue until 8:15 in the evening for that particular marine warning. But folks who are on land in northwest Indiana, particularly in Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, you definitely want to stay vigilant for the next hour.
As you can see, this is our video, our picture camera, I should say. Looks a lot different than it did a little while ago.
Yeah, the city of Chicago is out of the
The dangers. Well, let me ask you this. We said 7:45. The northeastern DuPage and Cook County northwest area was going to expire. Has it expired yet?
yeah,
Have you
they
heard
canceled it. They canceled a
canceled
couple.
it.
Down like
Okay.
about 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago.
So
okay.
that's really they do their best. It's one of those things where you have to. There's safety and there's inconvenience, and there's that debate. But the National Weather Service typically, when they see the threat has passed,
You'd
they
rather
drop them.
err on the side of caution, Micah, and extend it
Yes.
a little bit later
course.
than have to reissue a warning if it's not passed through
So
that area.
you said there's that little cell over there that's going near Indiana.
Demetrius, if you go a little bit to the
Right,
east and
east
go
of
towards
that.
southwest
Yeah.
Michigan,
Yep.
I know some
Yeah.
folks do watch us. Keep a little further.
over
Bears
here.
and
Oh, there
Benton
we go.
Take a
Harbor.
look,
That is
yeah.
a fresh, updated tornado watch area for areas in Benton County, Michigan. Our Burien County, Michigan, is just to the south of that. So areas around Kalamazoo also could be in the line of fire. I know some folks do watch on the app and on other means that are not just broadcast. So those folks in southwest Michigan should be vigilant as well.
And we're also in Lake County.
Yeah.
You see these 2 little tiny cells, one in Will County, one in Lake County.
Yeah.
This is how it starts. It's a little blip on the radar.
Right.
This is how it all started today.
Yeah.
A little blip on the radar can turn into something more significant, especially in this type of environment. So.
Warm, humid.
Yeah, because
warm
they've been
atmosphere.
warmer. I can show some of the high temperatures today.
They have.
and they have certainly more instability in place in northwest Indiana. I mean, you see, Lansing got to 80. I mean, think about this. We had a possible tornado hit O'Hare, and the high temperature only climbed to 76 degrees.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
the middle of July.
July, right.
Let's
Don't
talk
forget,
about
don't forget
Midway.
Midway. Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of Midway, Midway and at O'Hare, the ground stoppage due to the weather here has been lifted for both of those airports. We showed you, though, people were still sheltering in place, following directions of folks there at the airports. But again, the ground stop has been lifted at both airports.
So
good
where are
news.
we looking right now, guys? Warnings, watches, what are we looking for right now?
We have that tornado watch, which remains in effect. I can put that up.
Yeah,
if you
that's
want.
on Max 2 as well.
Oh, it's on Max 2. Let's go to Max
Yeah.
2. Tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m., and that is for mainly, I'd say, for Northwest Indiana.
Indiana, yeah.
Will County, Will and Kankakee, I'd say. I wouldn't, I definitely monitor this thing in the Will and Kankakee counties because you warmed up more, so you have the better chance of some thunderstorms developing. But that's until 10 p.m., and I think that they're going to let this whole line go through before they drop that in those counties. It might not be 10 p.m., but it's
Right.
you
In the
know,
next
it's-
hour or so, once that line moves through, the one you can see right there on Max 1 that's extending to the eastern part of Cook County, central Cook County, and right across the lake there. That line right there is, and it's moving to the southeast. So that particular storm cell, which had exhibited some rotation from the Doppler radar indication, is moving towards sections of northwest Indiana. So those areas, as Demetrius mentioned, are a little bit more unstable because they were warmer than most of us today. And so a more warmer, juicy, buoyant atmosphere certainly could contribute to these storm cells maintaining their strength or even potentially getting a bit stronger as it moves into that area.
and that line should be towards Jeffrey Manor by about 7:49, West Pullman by about 7:54, Headwich, excuse me.
Pegwish, yeah.
Yeah, I could have said it 10 times and not, Occupational hazard. That's going to be right around 8 p.m. and towards Gary by about 8:18. So
It seemed like, we were on the air with you guys very early on in the evening as we watched these storm cells develop. It did happen quickly, and it moved quickly. Now it is, halfway across Lake Michigan.
yeah, and well, what's interesting though is that there are probably numerous water spouts along Lake Michigan or in Lake Michigan.
Sure.
I mean, it is not. These things are not. I mean, they don't care about the lake. I mean, as typically a storm. Bill and I sit here oftentimes. We have to stay for severe storms, and once it gets near the lake, we're like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, not in this type of setup today.
No.
That's not the case where you're moving into a stable atmosphere. The air is still very energetic, even at the motion of these storms when they're tracking to the southeast. So you're not having any lake influence that's going to, in this case, weaken these storm cells.
And there are more cells, and these are not severe. There are more cells popping up now in the Will County as the line goes through. So we're going to watch Will counties, Kankakee counties, and our Northwest Indiana counties over the next couple of hours, because this threat is, we've had the potentially we've seen a number of tornadoes. Looks like significant tornadoes, maybe 2 in the city of Chicago, one hitting Midway, one hitting O'Hare.
And potentially more. We even got a report not too far from where Dana Rebick is out in Countryside. We've gotten also reports of a photography confirmed of a tornado in McCook, which is not too far from that Countryside LaGrange Park area where we've seen reports, ground truth of damage in those areas.
Yeah, we had that video from Jason Vicks in McCook near LaGrange.
Yep.
And there was a lot of damage over in that area.
So that's another area, yeah.
So should we be pretty much girding our loins until the late evening?
What does that mean?
Should we be afraid?
Watching our heads.
You're bringing out the 1920s terms on us. What does that mean?
At this point, Micah, I think most of our area is I don't want to say in the clear, but free of any storm potential here. But we're going to have to pay close attention. Oh, here we go.
What is that?
To the tornado warning, potential for any storms to develop. Into
I don't know if
Northwest
that's
Indiana.
anything new. I think that's just.
Yeah, there's nothing new. I've got the Weather Service queued
Okay.
up here. There's no additional warnings. But again, we're watching that line of storms. It's moving right over the southwestern part of the lake there. That's going to sweep through parts of northwest Indiana. So we'll certainly keep a close tabs on that here in the Weather Center. And should anything warrant a warning, we'll break in.
Yeah,
as
I can
becomes
pass this
necessary.
along, guys. I'm looking at the ComEd outage map,
Yeah.
and they've got 114 active outages. That is resulting in over 10,000 homes and businesses who are without electricity right now.
Right.
A lot of them seem to be focused in the southwest suburbs right now. So 10,000 outages right now.
Okay.
Well, there will
Thanks.
be more storms later this week, so
Hopefully
that is a
not-
problem for
hopefully
sump
not as-
pumps.
not as strong
Hopefully,
as what
hopefully
we
they can
saw
get that
today.
taken care of, because that is a problem for sump pumps and things like that. We will see more. There's
They're
a rain
still
bill on
dealing
that
with
thing.
all that rain, like in Cicero area. I know in the south area of Chicago, they had a lot of flooding in their basements.
Yep.
And so this is not going to help at all.
No, and there's a chance for rain, each day in the 7-day
The next
forecast.
couple of days,
Yeah.
and, the difference the next couple of days, Micah, is these storms will be more isolated or widely scattered than kind of what we saw today. So it'll be more of a hit or miss type pop-up shower thunderstorm, covering about 20-30% of the metro area. So not everybody will get in on this, but we still remain in this fairly active pattern that that began all the way back in the beginning of the month here. So
Right.
about the last 2 weeks, and Midway Airport's moving in on 9 inches of rain for the month of July. A typical full July sees about 378. So we've already had more than 2 Julys worth of rainfall in the first 12 days than we typically see. So that's
Yeah.
just an extraordinary amount of rain. And yet some areas still that watch us out in McHenry County and Crystal Lake and Huntley and those areas, they still are looking for rain up there. They've largely missed out on a lot of these storm clusters. So, again, we talk about how summer rains just don't fall homogeneously, and this is a classic case of what's happened. But the areas that have gotten it have really gotten walloped pretty good.
And in terms of what we're looking at now, I'm going to zoom in as closely as I can. We haven't talked about Will County yet. This one right here, Mokena, Frankfort, that just developed. And this is one that we're just going to watch.
Yep.
Because this is how it starts. You get a little tiny cell like this. If I zoom out here, you'll see how small this thing is. It's south of I-80, by the way, and west of 57, across portions of northern, whatever. I guess that's eastern Will County. That's how it starts. And if you look at with each scan, I can actually put it into motion. It's definitely growing, and it's right up along that line there that continues. So, the threat is not over for, especially for areas south of Cook County. The threat is certainly not over. There's going to be the potential, because the line goes right about like this, and it's pressing to the east at this time, kind of southeast, but generally to the east, moving at that direction close to about 35 miles per hour. So if your neighborhood, if your home is east of that diagonal line, this is still something that you need to be monitoring. You have a tornado watch in effect, which means you need to be prepared at a moment's notice for if there's a warning. The good thing is we can hear there are sirens across our area. It goes off on our cell phones.
They have been going off, and the cell phone as well. Guys, take a break for a second. We're gonna we've got a reporter, as a matter of fact, on the telephone with us, an Indianapolis reporter, Hannah Folman, who happens to be stuck on a plane at O'Hare. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, how are you both doing? I am at O'Hare right now, and I was actually on the airplane when the tornado sirens went off.
Wow. What time did you board, and what happened?
Yeah, so we boarded the plane. I would say about we were supposed to board at 5:30, and then we boarded at 6. And we all boarded the plane. The flight attendant came on, and she was like, "We're all boarded. We're going to try to beat this weather. We're going to try to beat the severe weather." And then about 2 minutes later, she came back on and said, "I need everyone off the plane. Get your luggage. Get everything." And you could hear the panic in her voice a little bit. So we all left the plane. All of the airplanes, we saw more airplanes coming back from the runways, and everyone had to evacuate down to the lower level where the bright lights and those moving walkways were. And it was just a mad rush to get down there.
So you're not on a plane. You are now in the airport itself.
So funny you say that. I was down in the moving walkway area for about 30, 40 minutes for the shelter in place, and now I am back on the airplane. It was a very quick process.
Is it moving? Are you going to get to your destination?
We are still at the gate right now, but they did a pretty swift process in getting everyone back on the airplane very quickly after the shelter in place.
What was it like when you guys were hunkered down waiting for the storm to pass? I mean, people are shoulder to shoulder there.
I've never truly seen that many people in one space in my life. Everyone, it was just I could hear everyone talking about, oh my gosh, more delays, there's tornadoes. And even some of the pilots, I was talking to a few of them, and they're like, yeah, we've never, ever had something like this happen before.
Wow. Where are you headed to, and what time, how delayed are you going to be now?
So I'm headed to London to visit a few friends, and I was originally supposed to take off at 6 p.m., and I think we're taking off in 30-ish minutes, hopefully soon.
But you felt comfortable and you think they handled everything pretty well.
I really do. I think they handled everything well. Everyone was told to get downstairs as quickly as possible. And when there are thousands and thousands of people, it definitely takes time. But I would say everyone was down and in safety in about 15 minutes, which for O'Hare being as big as it is, they did a great job getting everyone down to safety.
When you were on the plane before they actually brought you back into the terminal, what did you notice? What was it like on the aircraft? We're looking at video shot by someone else, but what was it like? What could you feel when you were inside the aircraft?
So honestly, I could just see the rain. It was pouring, absolutely pouring. You could see the dark clouds. Most people, when they said we have to get off the plane, did the usual, we have another delay. Like, they didn't really think about the tornadoes or anything because I don't think that was on their radar. They were more concerned about being late to their destination. But then it became more real because we heard the sirens go off and we heard all the workers say, get down to safety immediately. So then people started to get concerned.
You were talking to the pilots. Were they saying, we heard, that the tornado definitely touched down somewhere on airport grounds there. Did you hear about any damage that anybody has described there?
I have luckily not seen any damage. There were a lot of glass windows in the terminal I was at, so that's one of the main reasons they, of course, brought everyone down. But I have not seen any damage and no injuries either of people getting down to the area. I haven't seen anyone fall over or anyone get seriously hurt. So I think we've had no injuries and no damage at the airport.
That's wonderful, Hannah. Thank you, and safe travels to you. We also have to say that there have been no reports of damage. This is coming from O'Hare Airport itself, telling us that there have been no reports of damage at the airport or on the airport grounds.
All right, let's check back in with Demetrius and Tim Joyce and Bill Snyder in the Weather Center, guys.
So we're still watching this two news cells, one towards the Thornton area, another one right up along I-57 where 57 and 80 beat. They are not severe at this time. They're not, there's probably not even much in terms of thunder and lightning with them, but we're just going to watch them. I mean, this is the type of thing where, we'll be, the watch will remain, tornado watch will remain in effect until 10 p.m. Maybe dropped earlier if some of these storms move through. But at this point, we're just monitoring these storms because this is definitely one that looks like it's intensifying or growing with each scan there.
And the cell over Thornton is one that's interesting as well because as of about noontime today, Thorn Creek, which is located in Thornton, that part of Cook County, that waterway is under a flood warning, which means flooding is active and occurring, continues until 7 a.m. tomorrow. So adding more rain on top of that particular watershed could exacerbate the high water situation we've been seeing in that portion of Cook County for 8 hours now. So that cell could get out of there as soon as possible. Folks in that area will definitely be benefiting from the rain moving on.
Guys, we're going to go back to that video we saw earlier, that twister in Campton Hills, which is outside of St. Charles in the Geneva area. Is that thing gone, or is that cell still going?
That's long gone. That's the same one that moved through Rogers, eventually made its way to Rogers Park.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's over the lake and probably causing some problems, out there, But it's over the lake now, almost to Michigan, actually. But look at that debris.
It's moving so quickly, my goodness.
Yeah, and the debris, I mean, you can't tell how far this is. The cameraman did a spectacular job. First off, being a very safe distance away from the thing. And second off, kind of zooming in so you can see that debris. They look like little dots, but sometimes those are doors, roofs
of houses,
pallets. They could be anything.
Backyard sheds.
Yeah, I mean, those, like I said, I mean, nothing makes you feel small like a tornado. And you can see, and notice how far away some of that debris is from the tornado, which is why getting up close. I mean, we've seen so many videos where folks are so close, and I'm just like, this is.
And those look like fully mature trees, and that are right near there. So those are at least 2 or 3 stories tall. So that debris is being flung 6, 7 stories in the air.
So is it able to just then pick back up into the upper atmosphere and then move across terrain and then drop down?
Yes.
The same tornado.
Yeah, they can. It's not necessarily I guess it is the same one. In the same cell, they just kind of recede back into the cloud and then come back down.
As they go through more conducive atmospheric conditions, they can drop another tornado through the same cell. So that's why when we see a cell that's produced a tornado that has produced one, as it goes over new areas, that's why we want to keep people especially aware of those cells, because they can drop another subsequent tornado in a different spot.
Give us an idea of what in Chicago downtown area, what is the condition right now? What is the temperature right now? What's going on?
Well, what you're looking at right now, the sun, there's a significant rain shaft there. That is basically kind of on the southern, like on the south side, probably headed towards Gary. You see the sunlight
Illuminating.
illuminating the
cumulonimbus clouds.
which are,
Those
I don't know, I didn't look at the heights today, but I don't know. I'm gonna.
Those are about 40,000 feet
Oh,
in the
so they are
atmosphere.
pretty- they are
yeah,
pretty
they're
good.
pretty respectable. But those are the storm cells, Micah, that you're looking out into the lake. So those are moving away from us.
Moving east?
Yes.
And now the view is from our studio here on the west side, looking towards those storms that are tracking across Lake Michigan and areas towards northwest Indiana.
And when you put those the tornado icons up that showed the confirmed touchdowns, I mean, it was over half a dozen that we saw throughout.
We did. I can put that.
area.
I can put that back up. But for folks in the city of Chicago right now, this is a. I mean, and this is a chance. I mean, we're okay in the city right now. This is a chance to just kind of see what's damaged. But there's nothing that's coming your way in terms of storm reports. And it looks like these have went up a little bit. Now, it'll be very interesting to see if the National Weather Service finds out if these were long track tornadoes, or if it was numerous tornadoes, or more. Well, that one that in Campton didn't look like it, but sometimes you can have multi vortice tornadoes, which it's like two tornadoes or three tornadoes that just kind of dance with each other. So it'll be interesting to see if these are the same one or not.
But there's 9 icons on the screen there. That might be 6 tornadoes, and one could be a long track tornado. So that's what the investigators are going to determine. The path, the intensity, the kind of damage it did will give them those answers over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, and it's quite possible, Micah and Ray, that this is not something that gets determined. In fact, in just 24 hours. I mean, they've got quite an area here to survey. So this could be something that takes days before we fully know to the extent of how many tornadoes touch down. I've seen this situation before, and it can take sometimes up to 3, 4, 5 days before we truly know the amount of tornadoes. But no question that there's been at least a half a dozen, and I think we'll probably find that there's going to be more for sure.
Okay, Bill, Tim, Demetrius, thank you very much. Stand by. We're going to talk to someone right now on the phone from the National Weather Service. Brett Borchardt is a senior meteorologist over there. Hello, Brett.
Hey, Micah, Ray, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on. What can you tell us about what has just happened in our area?
Well, we can confirm that there were numerous tornadoes across the Chicago area. Just as what was just said, too early to say how many tornadoes there were. We're still looking through reports of damage coming in through social media and working with emergency managers to determine where the worst damage was, which we'll use to inform our damage surveys.
We've been having our meteorologists on the air all evening long. I know you've been watching along, and they gave you guys all a lot of credit for being able to put this early warning out and potentially save some lives. Can you talk to us about the warning that you saw as it was coming toward us?
Sure. This was a relatively rare event for our area, especially in July. A lot of unique things had to come together just right, and it's one of those situations that we really couldn't see it until it was just coming together. A lot of dominoes had to fall in really the wrong direction. And it wasn't until the line of storms moved through earlier this morning. Remember, we had all those downpours this morning. Once that moved through, it became clear we were going to have another opportunity for these thunderstorms. And just based on the amount of wind shear, the amount of turning in the atmosphere, and the timing of the day, we knew this was going to be one of those situations where tornadoes were going to be favored.
Brett, has anything led up to this? I mean, we had some drought a couple of weeks ago. We had a lot of rain the last few weeks. Did any of this have anything to do with that?
No, it's just a pattern that we've been stuck in. May, June, we were in that drought. It's typically a very active time for severe weather in our local area. But as we all know, living in the Chicago area, severe weather can strike at any time throughout the year. Our severe weather season typically peaks from May through August, so we're really in the heart of the severe weather season. The drought that we had earlier really had no impact, as we've unfortunately learned, and we're likely going to have additional chances for severe weather as the year continues.
Brett, I don't want to ask you to get too technical, but it's really a fascinating thing to consider that, these kinds of storms, the tornadoes develop when we have saturation in the atmosphere. That was not the case here. We have this sheer movement in the atmosphere. Can you describe how rare that is and why in the heck you think it developed the way it did?
Well, it's just a unique combination that came together just today. A lot of times we're looking for what we call a low-pressure system to give that spin in the atmosphere. We get those in the spring and the fall. Remember back in was that March 31st, we had that big tornado outbreak across the Midwest. This was a somewhat similar setup, just a much smaller scale with a small low-pressure system that came right through the Chicago area at the right or wrong time, depending on your viewpoint. And everything came together just right in the evening hours. It is not uncommon to have tornadoes in July, but to have so many over such a confined area and produce damage is relatively uncommon in the middle of July. But again, severe weather can strike any time of year, and it's just a poignant reminder that we're really in the middle of that season.
Are any of these cells going to cross over into other states?
It appears the storms are ongoing. They're over Lake Michigan right now, moving toward Michigan and northwestern Indiana. So the National Weather Service offices out east in Grand Rapids and Syracuse, Indiana, are going to be looking at those next. But yeah, the system continues eastward, and they're going to be continuing to issue warnings.
Brett, can you take us through what the timetable, how the assessment will take shape, and you probably don't want to be put on the spot, but if you had to guess, what would be your surprise where this may fall on the Fujita scale in terms of the strength of these tornadoes?
Well, right now we're in that very initial stage of just collecting the information of what happened, combing through social media, working with our emergency management partners, just trying to find out where the worst damage occurred. That way we can put together our damage survey plans. I can tell you we are going to start surveying tomorrow, like we have to survey for the next several days, just because there are so many potential paths. And as we continue and complete each survey, that's when we're going to be able to provide that official rating, the path length, the path width. It's still too early to say what these tornadoes were rated. We can say it appeared the strongest tornado moved across southwestern Cook County just based on radar, but it's way too early to say what it was rated because we're still collecting information from our partners about what was damaged and how many things were damaged.
What do you think the rest of our night is going to look like?
Well, it looks like it's going to be a lot quieter, thankfully. The cold front is working through our area, so you'll probably notice those humidity levels are lowering. Expecting it to be a little breezy, but definitely quiet, not expecting any storms overnight.
And put a little historical context to this for us. To have two tornado systems touch down in the city of Chicago, can you remember anything even remotely like this happening before?
Oh, gosh. Off the top of my head, I can remember June of 2021. I think June 26th, we had tornadic storms threaten the city of Chicago. Also, August of 2020, we had that big line of storms that went across Iowa and northern Illinois that also threatened the city of Chicago with an EF1 tornado in Rogers Park. Those would be comparable events. It just shows that the city of Chicago is not immune from tornadoes. The skyscrapers don't stop tornadoes. Severe weather really can strike anywhere, no matter the time of day, time of night, time of year.
Brett Borchardt, Senior Meteorologist for the National Weather Service. We appreciate you checking in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Boy, given that information, I mean, we're relieved and hope that those reports hold true, that there have been no severe injuries reported. We will be continuing to monitor that aspect of the strength of these storms, but just amazing to consider when you look at how widespread this storm was.
Check in with guys in the weather office. Did you get a little break?
We
Yes.
did. We're like, thanks, Brett.
Everything he said checked out, right?
It's on us next time you see us.
Yes, right, exactly.
Well,
You guys are doing a fabulous job.
well,
He just
Tim
echoed
Joyce-
pretty much what you've been saying.
Tim Joyce has been here since 10 a.m. 10. I'm gonna say
9-ish.
9. Let's say 9 for the boss. if
But
they're
who's
listening.
counting, right?
I am.
But it's just one of those things where, and we're fortunate that we have the National Weather Service. We're fortunate that we have the Storm Prediction Center because, as a meteorologist, you do your best to forecast what's going to happen. But at the same time, you need to know way before. You kind of have your ducks in row. We have to have our ducks in row as a station way before any storms develop. So this was, and for viewers too, for people who live here, this is not something that's going to hit you every day. We oftentimes we run those sound bites where people say, "Oh, it just came out of nowhere." No, folks, there's something called the convective outlook that we give that we give almost every day on our newscast.
We were on the air last night showing that that our area was in a level 2 risk, which is not necessarily a high assessment, but as Brett was talking about just a little bit ago, the right parameters came into play this morning, and then in response to that, the Storm Prediction Center upgraded our risks from a level 2 to a level 3, and it was becoming quite apparent that the right meteorological key ingredients were coming into play for potentially a significant tornado outbreak. So it's exactly what's happened. So that's the good news, Mike, is we're not typically surprised by this. We're in an era of technology, and computer models are so good today that we're able to kind of identify something sometimes multiple days in advance, but in this case at least a day or 12 to 24 hours in advance, and give our viewers the proper amount of time to prepare for this situation.
Yeah, we can't tell you what neighborhood's going to get hit at exactly what time of the day, but we can tell you days ahead that you need to be on the lookout.
Right.
Exactly. And that wasn't the case even when I was in school. I mean, when we were younger, you were lucky if you got a day's notice. But look at these shots here that we have. I mean, what you're seeing now is the sun just showing off of some just astonishing cumulonimbus clouds. Look at our buildings absolutely dwarfed by those storms, which are they're almost on the southern Lake Michigan shore. So what, I don't know, 20 or 30 miles away?
Yep.
Right.
So this gives you a perspective of how high those storms are. Of course, because we're closer to the buildings, it'll make the buildings look a little bigger, actually, I believe. So in this case, it just kind of gives you an idea of how high these storms are. I think we lost Micah.
I'm sorry.
About
they were
time.
talking to me.
We were getting ready for our
Very
next.
funny. They were talking to us from the booth. The producer was. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please? I'm normally on top of things here.
I was stretching, Micah. You don't want me to repeat it.
We're going to talk to some folks. We have people in Indian Head Park. We have people in Streamwood. We have people all over to try to take a look at what the damage is and the areas that all these tornadoes hit. And as you say, about 5 cells went through today at 35 miles per hour, touching a little bit of every part of the city. We had 4.whatever million people who've been affected today by this. At this point, we have no injuries reported, but who knows what may happen in the future. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But of course, there is some damage in Streamwood. As we said, we think a Portillo's restaurant may have suffered some damage. A lot of houses, a lot of cars, as we've seen roofs torn off. We've seen uprooted trees. We've seen a little bit of everything. We've been with Courtney Spinelli in Elgin. We've been with Dana Rebick, who was over in the LaGrange area, McCook area, and we've been all over in Campton Hills. So we're going to report all that and keep everybody in all these different places. We had Jewel Hillary, who's on her way to O'Hare Airport. She's going to cover that. We did get some information from O'Hare that there has been no damage at O'Hare, but we do know that they pulled people off of planes and put them to the the lowest level of O'Hare Airport and kind of kept them there sheltered in place until this blew over. And it's funny because we started doing this about 5-ish or so, but it seems like it went by so quickly and so swiftly. Mm-hmm. There's the O'Hare Airport, how people were sheltering in place. But the young lady we talked to, who was also a reporter, said that she was very confident and felt very safe that the folks at O'Hare kept them all together, and got them back on the plane, and she should be heading out to go to London very soon.
All right, let's go and check in Indian Head Park, and our Ben Bradley is checking in live. Ben, were you in the area there? What did you see?
Yeah, Ray and Mike, I was actually downtown shooting a story when the tornado warning siren sounded downtown. That's an odd thing to hear because it doesn't happen very often. We came out here to Indian Head Park, which is right at the intersection of I-55 and 294. You can see there's extensive trees down, and it's not just trees that fell on the grass. We've had trees hit homes. This home across the street, you can see that actually roofing materials peeled off the top corner of it. We've also got trees on top of power lines in the area. We've already seen some ComEd crews slowly beginning to arrive here to begin the work of cleaning some of this up. Ray and I are going to take a walk this way just to show you how the damage played out at this particular home. I just spoke to the homeowner who told me that he was home at the time and heard a sound like he had never heard before. He said it was almost like a whooshing and then a whirling, and then pieces of his roof began to peel back. They've started to put tarps on top of the roof because they fear more rain may come and they want to protect it from getting damaged anymore. So we've just arrived at this particular subdivision in Indian Head Park, but residents have been telling us that there's more damage a bit farther back. We're going to walk back this way, and you can see right around this apartment building, we've got trees down. There's a tree on top of that white car, and I'm told a block or so back, the front of homes peeled off, at least 2 homes there, as well as some roofing materials that came out. I want to bring in Robert, who is here when the severe storms pulled through. Robert, tell me a little bit about what you heard and saw.
I heard a lot of cracking and crumbling, and I looked out the window. I was like, wow, what is going on? And all the trees started falling down, and the traffic stopped. The rain was horrendous, and next thing you know, everything's down.
And our weather team had been talking about the potential for severe storms and tornadoes for several hours before this developed. Did you feel like you had warning?
No, actually, I did not. I didn't watch the news. I don't have any apps or nothing like that, so I was actually astounded by it.
Yeah.
It was just pretty incredible.
And we haven't had a chance to make our way back that way yet, but what types of damage exists a little further back in that subdivision?
Homes, half their walls are missing. Some of the roofs are missing. There's some roofs missing over here.
Roofing materials, not entire roof.
But some, not the entire roof, but some of the roofing materials. Well, you see insulation, so it's pretty bad. But a lot of trees down, cars hit, things like that.
Yeah, we have not heard any reports of injuries. Robert, thank you very much for describing what you saw. But the scene here in Indian Head Park continues to unfold. We've seen fire crews, ComEd crews, police cordoning off the streets because at this point we still have a lot of trees on top of power lines, but homeowners now starting to come out and tarp up their roofs to protect against any rain. Ray and Micah, we'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, Ben, you are such a team player, I tell you. Great guy getting out there to give us information. I'm just curious why there was no siren or anything out there that gentleman didn't hear. But let's give you a quick recap of what's been going on for the last couple of hours. If you're just coming out from a basement or not, or something, there have been several tornado touchdowns here in the area. All of the tornado warnings have expired, thank goodness. We had tornadoes touchdown in Midway Airport, O'Hare Airport, including Cook County and the city of Chicago. So we have had several tornadoes as well as a lot of rain, lots of rainstorms, and that's the last thing that a lot of these areas need.
We have been taking in all the damage throughout the western suburbs. At this point, there are 8,700 customers who are without power, so the ComEd crews are out there assessing and trying to reestablish power here. But again, perhaps a half a dozen tornadoes have touched down. We'll be working with the National Weather Service to confirm those, and our coverage will continue. We're going to take a break right now at 8:20, but we will return coming up for the WGN News at 9 o'clock.